Lesson 4, Choosing a Latin Name. In the last lesson, we talked a lot about the traditional Roman naming system. We gave you just a brief overview. Now, in this lesson, we want to tell you how you can have your own Latin name, and we want to give you a bit of advice on how to pick a name. And here in this lesson, I give you several ways to do it. My particular name, Gulielmus, is just the Latin way to say William. So I just took the already existing Latin name, which translates, from William into Latin. And so that's my name, is Gulielmus. If your name is Peter, you could be Petrus. If your name is, as I say here in the book, Kathy, Catherine, any of those names, you could be Katarina.
Well, Bill, could you talk a little bit about where some of these names come from? Because I've never read any, at least books written by Romans, where anybody was named Gulielmus.
So Latin literature extends beyond just Roman literature. When we think about the word Latin versus the word Roman, we have to make a dichotomy or a difference there. The word Roman refers to the people known as the ancient Romans, but their language, Latin, lived far beyond them. The Latin language, even after the fall of the Roman Empire, and after the ancient Romans as a state or as an entity disappeared, the Latin language became sort of an immortal, living testament to the culture of the ancient Romans. So when you're picking a Latin name, you can look not only at the ancient Romans, but you can look at the church age, you can look at the medieval period, you can look at the Renaissance. Lots of people were writing in Latin then. So you have basically, 1,000, probably a couple of thousand years of Latin literature. So there's a great variety of Latin names that you can choose from. Here in this lesson, we're trying to just give you some advice. You can take the Latin version of your existing name. You can translate the meaning of your name. For example, if your name is Cooper, you might want to be, let's say you're a female and your last name's Cooper, you could be Couparia. That could be your Latin name. It would be a first declension feminine noun, right?
That's exactly right.
And then we say you could use a physical characteristic. One time at a spoken Latin workshop, I met a guy named Calvus.
How was his hair?
He had no hair because the word calvus means bald. So he had given himself a Latin name based on a physical characteristic.
A particularly famous example of this goes back to our talk about the origin of cognomina. You may have heard of Marcus Tullius Cicero, or if you prefer, Marcus Tullius Cicero. And Cicero comes from a Latin word that means chickpea. And so they thought maybe there was some kind of, we'll call it a beauty mark on he or one of his ancestors' noses.
Maybe a wart.
Well, if you want to put it that bluntly. Beauty mark.
So, to wrap up here, you can pick a name from history, a name from mythology. Just pick a name you like. Any name that you want to have. As I say here in the book, no one's stopping you. You can just pick a name that's fun for you. And be sure to have fun with it. Pick a name that you like and that you have fun with.
Absolutely. And don't worry about if you pick something a little bit unorthodox. It's what you're going to be called. So make sure it's something that you like.
Something that you're happy with.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at the quick review before we go on to lesson 5. The dative case is used to show the indirect object in a sentence. What is the indirect object? The indirect object is the party in the sentence that is receiving or benefiting, okay?
So is that like the pizza man comes and we're the party that benefits when he finally gets here?
Well, if you're having a party, you're the party that benefits. That's not the kind of party I mean. What I mean is the entity, the person in the sentence, or the people, or animal, whoever is in the sentence that's receiving something, like we have a sentence here, Regina portii pecuniam dat. Okay, here the word portii is the name Portia. It's a woman's name. So the queen is giving money to Portia. Okay, Portia's name is dative singular. And then again we have Publius pueris cibum quotidie dat. Pueris is in the dative plural. So Publius daily gives food to the boys. So the word pueris is the indirect object. It's in the dative plural. It's the party who is benefiting or receiving. That's what the indirect object is in a sentence. And in Latin, we use the dative case to show that.
So you're saying they are getting pizza.
Well, maybe they are having a party.
Told you so.